Hey, how's it going? This is Brian Gandy with Sustainable Terrains, and I'm going to do a rundown of the Fluence SPYDR 2P. I put one of these up in August of 2019, and a bunch of people watched it, so hopefully it helps some folks out on a decision. There are 1,000 knockoffs of this fixture now available, so we're going to do a rundown of the current build. This is November 2020. And not much has changed, but I'm going to give a little more insight onto the ups and downs of this fixture. The Gavita fixtures are kind of taking popularity for the bar style fixture. This is the 2P, which isn't the top of the line. It's got about 1,500 micromoles output, where the 2I has closer to 1,700, 1,650. So closer to the Gavita, but still a good representation of what they're doing. And we'll take a look at some of the components, see what's changed. All right, we're going to start with what's in the box that's not, besides the main fixture. We got the power supply, which is Powerland. They got it branded on the outside of the power supply now. So this is an improvement. It's a custom build where the old driver used to be built inside of a box and then had all the attachments on the box. So this is a step up. We'll do a rundown of all those connectors here in a minute. These hangers, I forget, they've got a million different ways to hang this thing. We'll show how these hook up. That's in the box. Power cable in a box. Mounting brackets. Sweet decal for all the brand hose out there, and this is their dimming lead on all normal LED fixtures. You just got a purple and a gray. I believe purple's positive, but then it's just an adapter to mate up with their proprietary fixture connectors, which are kind of annoying, but everything does click in really nice and easy. I'll just do that real quick, I think. So this is the dimming. No, take that back. Here we go. Nice satisfying click there. We're going to take a look at the luminaire itself. That's what you call this thing. Same pretty much as before, aluminum extruded heat sinks. This is a printed circuit board, PCB, with the chips mounted on it. We got a blend of probably 3,500 Kelvin and 6,000 Kelvin, orangish and bluish whites that blend. I've got my own theory on why they use the orangish red. It's less efficient than the bluer chips, but it also has a little tail that goes out and gives these fixtures a little bit of far red, which I got to give Fluence credit to. I didn't understand why they did it a long time ago. I can only assume that's why. That, and because it's easier to source components when you have two different things to choose from. This fixture used to be rated at 1,600 ppf output. Since then, they've backed off of that to 1,550 in their spec sheets. If you go onto the DLC, the Design Light Consortium website, they'll show you statistics. They've got two versions on there. I'll throw the screenshots up there. One was at 1,520 and one was under 1,500. So I think they have a disclaimer on their spec sheet, but buyer beware. Most spec sheets have fudge or massaged numbers. The primary difference between this fixture and the 2i, which is a higher output fixture, is that this is using the 5630 size chips, which are more rectangular. The higher efficiency, higher output chips that are everybody's crazy about are the Samsung 301H, LM301H or LM301B. They put out more output. They've got a square chip. I'll show some of those just for reference too. So slightly older chip technology, slightly lower spec than they actually advertise. No surprises. All of these fixtures will be made, even the knockoffs are all being made within like 2 square miles of each other, and somewhere in China, Shenzhen, I think. Fluence is owned by Osram Sylvania. Everybody's seen Sylvania on a light bulb, knows that name. It's a household name. Osram is a huge company on the world stage, and I don't know if Fluence is actually using Osram chips anymore. The word on the street is that they are not. I believe these are Samsung whites, if I had to guess. Osram is most known for their red chips. Everybody touts Osram 660 nanometer chips on their spec sheets, and I'll get the little microscope out so we can see this closer, but this is actually an Osram 660 nanometer, their highest output as of a year or so ago, and you'll see it in the microscope. It's got a much bigger lens on it, a primary optic, and also a larger footprint. It would put out twice as much red as these chips do. This one chip would replace these two. My guess is that they are using just enough to make spec, and as we'll see from the specs that they publish, that's a moving target. And a primary flaw that I preach on all horticulture fixtures, especially going in indoor grows or cannabis grows, is this tacky conformal coating. The lighting's actually doing a good job of showing it. I've got a video of the difference between conformal coating versus a lens when it comes to cleaning. This is sticky. Grow environments are harsh. Dust, sprays, resins, you name it can get stuck to this. And I don't know why they didn't do this, but if they had painted this white or put some reflective material in this little heatsink here, it would actually do a better job of redirecting the light. The aluminum absorbs quite a bit of light. It has a pretty low reflectance. So that's the chips. Again, this is called a printed circuit board, or PCB, when you see people talking about it online. And I'll take a snapshot of this up close and personal, throw it in the video. You've got basically about 18 inches from the power supply to the fixture. I'll flip it over and show how the mounting of this goes on. But if you want to remote mount the power supply anywhere, you got to buy an extra cable, and these things add up. If you've ever seen a commercial bid from Fluence, things add up really quickly. So we're going to power this thing up. It does do a sexy little ramp up, which is cool. Pull in 655 watts right out the gate. That's going to change. It'll go down. I think they spec it at like 640 something. And I've got the dimmer leads. And I realized what the extra plug was for, is plug the luminaire in. That's why we do these videos. So if you want to know if a fixture will dim to off, which a lot of people are really gung-ho about, and some batches of Fluence I guess didn't and some do. All the new ones do. Their own custom power supplies that took care of that issue. You can just cross the two dimmer wires, the purple and the gray, and it does dim nice and slow, which is cool, just for effect. But that's how you can tell if an LED fixture dims to off. So these two wires will plug into just about any controller. Gavita uses RJ14, like a phone cable, and only dims down to 50%. This one will dim, I think you can dim them down to like 15-20%. Here is how the driver mounts. It comes with these ABS, like hard plastic mounting brackets. And basically just clicks on like that. Say that doesn't feel super sturdy. I don't know. It's got little instructions on it that tell you to go down and then slide the brackets in to lock it. So that's it, locked in. And put your pigtail in like that. You got your dimmer leads, and you got to run your power. Power and the dimmer are off of different ends of the driver. I mean, they're going to be run on different circuits, so that's kind of annoying. Yeah, that's that. All right, looky here, as my grandpa used to say. This is the downside to Fluence. I mean, it's not a downside, it's just plastic. Half our world is plastic, but there's some value engineering. It does have a nice styled out Fluence imprint on there. One thing that I've been wanting to test on these, and this will be legit first time, is if we disconnect one of these bars, these little connectors here, leave that out so it doesn't ground out. What happens if we power it on? Okay, that's just what I thought. So if one bar goes out, this is still powering up to 600, it's actually powering up to 660 watts. So now, if one bar goes out, or one chip, or one section of the board goes out, all of the power from the driver is still being put into the fixture. So that means that the rest of the chips that are still running are being overdriven. To get the efficiencies, they're still always, in horticulture fixtures, underdriven. That's why there's so many chips. But if you have an outage, it diverts the current into the other chips, which is going to cause them to go out faster. There's not a real good way to get around this, but it's just something to be mindful of. And also read the warranty. They specify a certain amount of chips and a certain amount of record keeping to say that they will replace it. So that's interesting. That bar unplugged, and the power still draws. The power draw is still the same. So something to be mindful of. That's really an engineering issue that has yet to be solved using a constant current driver, which these are. But yeah, that's it. ABS plastic covering that. You know, really tidy wiring. They did a really good job, like I said. Hard to knock it, but there are a million different options for this type of fixture now. So I think that's it for the total rundown. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll do another version whenever they do any changes or I get my hands on a 2i.